what's going on, guys? It's Psalm Sunday, 16 in the afternoon, and it is the 24th of March, 2024. Yeah. I dare say my name being a Weaver John C. of Roseman, California. Do I dare say that? I'm going to be playing some copyrighted music, just in case the YouTube has a conniption fit over this thing. I'm going to be putting some copyrighted information when I do post this, putting it into the descriptions to cover my bases on this. And it's coming from Lilies of the Field. 19. What was the year again on this one? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I lost the damn thing again? Holy nully. 1963. Okay, cool. Sidney Poitier. And the artist who is doing the soundtrack on this one, Jerry Goldsmith. This music stuck with me for a hell of a long while. Not exactly the film, but the soundtrack. I mean, Sidney Poitier's performance is outstanding. And the soundtrack is what makes the film. There's a reason why there's a discussion on this one here. This is part of a lot of DVDs that is supposed to have been watched during the season, during this week, and sometimes I'd have a problem with it. With the film, but as I said before, if you guys have been noticing and been watching me these days, I've been having problems concerning about memories. They like to come up and bite me in the butt. Basically, we're dealing with emotions, we're dealing with memories, we're dealing with family all the time, and this is biting me in the butt. But I think it's necessary for me to go through this stuff because there's no way for me but to go through this stuff. As much as I don't like to do it, but sometimes I feel like it's time, even though it's a pain in the butt for me to do so. Still is. For me to get myself involved in this, I would probably think, no, it's not time. I'm not dealing with this. Sometimes I have to. Even on holiday seasons that I have to deal with holiday films that actually do get me. Sometimes there are the feel-good movies that you need, but other times they're a pain in the ass. One of the actors I've got in this film of Lilies of the Field, Stanley Adams. Now, Stanley Adams, if there's any Trekkies out there, would know him as Cyrano Jones on the third season of Star Trek's original series, Trouble with Tribbles. He played, what was the second season? One of those two. Stanley Adams was a character actor, but he played this character name of Cyrano Jones, an intergalactic trader who got himself in trouble with tribbles. For him to get drinks, he traded tribbles. And tribbles were these furry, fluffy creatures that, if they liked you, they purred sweetly, and they made you pet them more, and if you happen to feed them, they're worse than gremlins. I mean gremlins, if you happen to pour one of them, you get these things popping out their backs, and they have these individual creatures coming out. Well, actually, if you feed them, they're worse than nightmares than you ever dealt with. Get them sunlight and they die. Essence of the gremlin monsters. The tribbles, well, no. They'll just multiply and multiply and multiply and multiply and multiply and multiply. As long as you keep feeding them, as long as you keep petting them, they're okay. They're not carnivorous. They'll just multiply like crazy. And he played a traitor and got in trouble with all this damn stuff. They didn't like Klingons at all. And with their help, they found out who the Klingon traitor was trying to kill a planet full of people, colonists, through poisoned grain, because the tribbles ate the poisoned grain and died by the millions. Kind of sucked. But that's the way they saved a planet in the Federation. They're heroes. But they're also deemed dangerous creatures because you feed them, they multiply. But that's all they do is multiply and eat more and more and more and more, and just multiply, multiply, multiply until you get an infestation. So basically, they'll starve themselves out. Kind of sucks. We're dealing with that one. No, I didn't get this movie. It's a storage box from a couple of years back. What I put in here was DVDs that affected me a great deal. Gave me a lot of joy when people that I cared about were around and alive. And after that, now they're painful to watch, but sometimes maybe it's necessary. I don't know why. Anyway, the film I was talking about. That's one of the DVDs. One with Sidney Poitier. I love the music on this one. I really did. They had a British rock band on this one. To Serve with Love. He was a hell of an actor in this one. God rest his soul. God bless his soul. For the season, I watched this with God knows how many times with my brother. The Her of Ben by Heston of Charles. Or Charleston Heston, actually. My brother and I would call him Ben Him. This one, my brother swore he loved a great deal. He loved listening and watching this one. JCS. Ted Neely. And it was Carl Anderson in this one. Played Judas. But Neely was the one with the voice on this one. And you had Yvonne Elliman in it. Mary Magdalene. My brother swore by this. Music by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Hell of a film to watch when this thing came out. My brother didn't get a chance to see it, but at one time my brother and I had been over to a library where they were showing this thing entirely. They got the film for it and showing it to the public. Must have been about 30 or 40 people at the library watching this thing. My brother and I are sitting on fold-out chairs watching this thing. And my brother's just entranced. He's entranced watching this. Well, we got the DVD. Oh, he was constant on it. Especially when it came down for Easter, or not even Easter. He'd watch it anyway. Get some music. If he had the soundtrack, he'd play the damn thing. And this is supposed to be played on Saturday before Easter. I don't know. It says something in here about commandments being 10, being at the middle of a Cecil film. If that wasn't enough, I am Spartacus, not him. Me. I'm Spartacus. Oh, the next guy said he was Spartacus. The next guy said he's Spartacus. They're all Spartacus. We are Spartacus. Yes, we are. Film we'd watch. But those are the ones he would watch together with me. And a few other films we had buried. But these two, when I saw them on the cable every so often, when Ma was still alive, it wouldn't bother me as much. Madonna was singing a song in there that got to my head on this one. A League of Their Own. Sorry about the lighting. All women's baseball team. I'd watched this a lot with Ma. I liked watching it. It was cute. It was and dramatic and baseball, and it got me pumped up because we were watching other baseball movies. And after she died, it was kind of hard for me today to watch it. I still haven't unwrapped the DVD, the Blu-ray actually. There was a song in there that used to be on my playground. Madonna would sing. I'd sing with "Haunt Me" like crazy. I have yet to do this one. But here's the movie that I'd seen a lot of times with Dave and Ma, and we loved it. But after they passed, there was no way in hell I was going to be watching it ever again. But I'd own it. Still Magnolia Lilies. This was one of the hardest movies to watch. With my family, I mean, you had Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, Daryl Hannah, Olympia Dukakis, Julia Robbins. Some of these people are already gone already. It was hard as hell to deal with it. Even right now, to this date. But it was hard to deal with because we're dealing with death. We're dealing with dying. We're dealing with life. And we're dealing with people that matter the most, a lot of things. I mean, it was tug of emotions. Yeah, I'd tug my emotions a little bit when I was watching this, even for the upteen's time on cable. When it came out, I'd watch it with the family. Because there was interplay between Olympia Dukakis and Shirley MacLaine would go on, and we'd go crazy. We loved it. But the thing that was the driving part of that was the character that Julia Roberts played. Played the daughter of Sally Field's character. And we'd seen how this character named Shelby was suffering through diabetes type 1. And I was told she would never have a kid. And if she did, she'd die. But she was going to have a kid anyway. She got married to a guy, and the hell of a thing to see her go through the seasons on this one. And nearly at the end, when we see that Shelby had gone in a hospital, I mean, it was a heart puller right there. And then they signed the paperwork. And she, character passed. And Sally Field trying to deal with mourning and grieving. And we were at the funeral, and then at the outside service. Hang on a second. Mama's at her insistent meeting. That's my little dog for you. I had watched this again and again. Before Ma died and before David died. I mean, before Ma died, I would watch it like crazy. And after that, we couldn't watch it anymore. Because we had dealt with the same touch and same sting as it was in the film. Death. And we had already been graced by its presence already, and it was hard as hell to deal with that one. Shelby died, and then Sally Field put in a performance in there, and then it was Olivia Dukakis and Shirley MacLaine trying to make it easier for Sally Field's character to deal with death and grieving by these antics that Olivia Dukakis was trying to get a laugh, trying to get a rise, trying to get humor going on. And I couldn't deal with that. Even in serious moments like that, it's like, what the hell are you doing? She's grieving, she's in pain, and you do this kind of crap? It's like, I wanted to swear off, or I wanted to say or do something. And when I was watching it before Ma passed away, it was one thing to understand that. Try to laugh at the humor at that moment. You gotta lighten up. Now, really, when you lost someone like that, it's kind of hard for me to find humor. Because it was hard to understand. It's hard to put it in context. Give me 1 second here. It was hard for me to deal with it because I've already experienced too much death right now. And then dealing with Mama's death and then hearing that, it was like there's no way in hell I could relate to what these kids are doing because I lost my mother. It hurt like hell. Anything we dealt with concerning about death, my brother and I kind of pushed off on it. We weren't ready and we weren't going to deal with Mama's death. We weren't going to do the memorial service. We weren't going to do a burial or anything else. We're just going to get her ashes and do a living memorial, and that was about it. Not even gathering friends or so-called or family over for a get-together. We would have had the room, but we didn't. We weren't emotionally ready for it. And then we had other things hitting us. There was no way for us to do that. Dave and I actually went over to a memorial service of a friend of ours that passed away. And I'd seen what they did in there as a tribute. I'm thinking to myself, can I do that for Ma? Do I have the equipment necessary for it? I mean, I tried a couple of things. Maybe I could do that for Ma. The idea stuck in my head. Despite the fact my brother and I were still feeling lousy about it, I decided, okay, on the main laptop, there's a program in there for me to make a movie. What the hell? So I had to gather all the pictures I could electronically and find the pieces of music that Ma would have appreciated. I made the thing. It took me a few weeks on that one. I wasn't trying to think of the moment. I wasn't trying to think of the emotional impact. I wasn't trying to think of anything of it. I wanted to do something for her. And I had to listen to some of the music again and again and again to make sure I had it right in certain spots. And when I had it, I didn't realize that I made this masterpiece for her and it hurt like hell because my brother never wanted to listen to it ever again. Despite the fact I actually had to load it up on his phone in case he had a private moment for himself, he wanted to go through that. But he never did. At least I don't know if he did or not. But I provided him the opportunity if he wanted to. I had it on my phone as well. But I hadn't listened to it in a hell of a long while, and I think what scared it and frustrate me like crazy. It's like trying to watch the movie all over again of Steel Magnolias and trying to see how Sally Field dealt with that particular instance in the film at the end. Her character was well enough that anything rotten could happen to her, then she'd lose her daughter. But translate that, how about losing a mother? This isn't harmful, but for me, there's a difference. There was a difference. They weren't mine. They weren't mine. And I couldn't deal with it. I got the DVD, the Blu-ray last year. I kept it in the package. Not selling it, holding on to it. If or when I am ready for it, I'll watch it. Just not today. Some of the other films I probably will. To Serve with Love, okay, fine. I'll probably watch Little Leaves of the Field this week as well. Because it is Easter. Spartacus, so I'll probably watch that either before or after I do Ben Hur, because we're talking about Roman period, we're talking about slavery, revolt, and all that sort of fun stuff. But Jesus Christ Superstar, and we're dealing with the Ten Commandments are going to have to be done this week before Saturday. I understand about what Passover means. And the rest of the week. It's hard as hell to deal with it. But the other film I never got, my brother's probably going to be hounding me on that one, is Godspell. That was another thing we saw, and we watched it as well. Even on cable, every time it kept coming out. My brother would listen to Godspell like crazy. Even on the audios, he would listen to Godspell. I'm changing my mind concerning about the soundtracks. I don't think I'm going to put it on this one. Yeah, not yet. Maybe later on this week, maybe. But it's hard as hell to deal with that one. It was hard. Godspell was one of those 1975 '76 rockish, when they were just getting the Twin Towers built in New York City. After they had them up there, what happens? They had to have a concert. I mean, they had to have a rock musical up there. And this is concerning about the life of Jesus, but in a different format. The modern age era, where there's nobody around except the except the performers. They had it secured in areas where it was quiet. I mean, it must have been working with the city like crazy, trying to quiet things down a little bit so they can do their stuff. And these kids, these performers would have in the area around the Trade Center and a few other areas in Central Park. I mean, they would have unfettered access. And then nearly at the end, in this one particular alley where Jesus was supposed to have been dying, and he's being shaken on the fence, and he's shaking on the fence, and he's got these round ties around his wrists and feet, representing stakes. And then he gets to be stiff as a board and lying like a cross. And at the end of this film, saying, he'd lead away. Or, Prepare the Way. Prepare the Way was the song. And as soon as they rounded a corner, the people would just be mulling out there, like just everyone just let the barricades down and traffic and everything returned to normal. It was a visualization film. My brother loved the film and the acting in the damn thing. But basically, we're all singing. But he still loved listening to it. And some of it I could listen to it. I tried listening to it. I even got the soundtracks loaded up on my computer. But I didn't feel like I would be able to play them. Again, memories. Things have a way of resonating and emanating and reverberating. That I have a problem with it. And the problem is that I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with what's happening around right now. And in the film Godspell, they would be talking about the gospel, quoting scriptures left and right. They didn't do that in Jesus Christ Superstar. No, they didn't. But if they were going to be doing, if they're going to be doing lines, they'd be singing. Most films would be singing. Again, my brother liked it. There was a time my brother and I would be trading off on this damn thing. Or we singing the same song from JCS. I always liked Pontius Pilate when he first met Jesus. Who is this unfortunate man cluttering up my hallway? Who is this unfortunate? Is that my Christ, King of the Jews? My brother was going crazy over seeing King Herod. And the actor portraying him and singing and dancing. My brother was having a field day over that one. He was laughing his ass off. And it was how come it is hard for me to see some of these films. We'd see it so many times. My brother and I would be enjoying them all the time. And then he's gone. And I deal with this. Ben-Hur would come up, would watch it like crazy. We'd quote a few lines here and there. I don't think there was a time my brother and I had tried to do a bet. We knew the outcome. Okay, Dave, what do you think? 6 to 5. Is he gonna go? Hey, wait for the fall. Wait for the fall. Here it goes. Ah! We watched the chariot races and go crazy over it. Spartacus, long ass movie to watch, but you got bored, you watch it and you listen to it and you see everything on it. And it was a heavy, intense movie of Spartacus. But the one thing my brother and I never did was the Spartacus routine. No, I am Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. We didn't do that. No, we didn't. Cecil B. DeMille. We'd watch it. We tried to emulate Yul Brynner like crazy on that one. Yul Brynner would be playing Ramses. They would try to do God sometimes, not all the time. But we'd watch it because there was the Ten Commandments. It was a perennial. Ten Commandments comes out, you watched it. No matter how many times we kept saying it. And my brother was making crude and socially unacceptable remarks. Even stuff that would make him, well, let's just say, I'm not going to go any further on that one because I'll probably get my head slapped upside the head on that one. Oh, Ma would have a field day on that one. But the one maybe we wouldn't was Lilies of the Field. We'd watch it. I'd listen to the music of it. Because after that, we'd be watching To Sir with Love. The music of Lulu in it. And we'd see him freak out and flip out. Eventually turn these kids into students. And we'd watch it from time to time. Well, this is the time of season to watch them anyway. There's even a soundtrack out there for this. I liked listening to the band that they actually had in there. Because I was trying to find out who the band was. And there was soundtracks I could listen to. Oh, British invasion, British music. And listen to it, it was pretty cool. I'd listen to it even after Dave's passing. Because I still enjoyed the music. League of Their Own. Baseball. There was about Madonna's song at the end of the film that just got to me because it reminded me of the times of the family. Living with them, dealing with them, and surviving their death. And yeah, there used to be playgrounds. And there used to be times. It's not about the film. It's not about the characters. It's about the song at the end that made a hell of a lot of difference. And it still brings up the memories. And it still brings up the pain. Because it still brings up the past. I'm a prisoner of it. I'm a storyteller. I'm the storyteller. Anyway. I know, the volume sounds sucky. But I have to get that emotional. It is soft. It is hard to hear. And you have to crank up the volume. I'm sorry about that. I've been noticing in a lot of my other videos. It's not the equipment. It's me. It's me. So if I happen to notice that the sound quality goes down, I know it's me. Because I'm the one doing it. But I had to. I had to. I got the rest of the week to go